This incident involving my mother-in-law happened not too long ago, but it will remain in my memory for the rest of my life, especially since I am only 23 years old and in the beginning stages of my married life. I have always had a soft spot for my mother-in-law. Despite being a little overweight, she is a very attractive woman. We live in a large house where my wife and I share a mother-in-law. I often watch her tending the garden, and she does it with such grace, as if she knows I am watching her. Although we live with the three of us, my wife's non-native Uncle Michael often comes to visit, and he and my mother-in-law enjoy spending long evenings together. When Uncle Michael stays overnight, it feels like a special occasion to me, as my wife tries to keep me awake at such times. One day, my mother-in-law and Uncle Michael came home late after an outing and proceeded to drink in the kitchen. At this time, I was lying on the couch in the hallway because of an argument with my wife. My mother-in-law retired to her bedroom, and Uncle Michael stayed in the kitchen and got so intoxicated that he left without saying goodbye to my mother-in-law. I was deeply upset when I realized that my wife would not be joining me tonight to resolve our differences. I did not yet know what would happen that night. In the middle of the night, my mother-in-law woke up and started looking for Uncle Michael. From the sound of her voice, she was about to enter my room. When she came in, she saw me lying on the bed, but because of the darkness, she couldn't recognize me. She said, "Michael, is that you?" I decided not to say anything, so I pretended to be asleep, not wanting to embarrass her. I assumed she would turn on the light, see it was me, and go back to her bedroom. However, to my surprise, she lay down next to me, and our unexpected love story began. I realized that everything happened purely by accident and had no serious meaning for me. After a while, I went to drink some water to calm down. While I was drinking, I pondered the need to go back to my wife, fearing that otherwise I would not survive the night if my wife found out. I went back and lay down next to my wife, and as if to spite my wife wanted to make up with me. I felt completely exhausted. I was like a squeezed lemon after that unexpected meeting with my mother-in-law. Exhausted, I woke up around lunchtime and found the girls happily cooking in the kitchen. In search of fresh air, I went out onto the porch. When I returned, I found that the girls had already set the table, and both were looking at me with satisfied smiles. It was such an intriguing real-life story that I couldn't imagine it could happen. It turns out that everything is my mother-in-law's fault, and I am a victim of circumstances. Of course, I would like to believe that.